Hello, welcome back to the Three Thumbs Up podcast. I am your host, Owen Beatty, and I have three thumbs. Get over it. You already may know who I am. I am a Montreal Canadiens fan, and Montreal, Quebec, Canada. What have they done this year? The Montreal Canadiens. Oh my god. Okay, so, I talked about the New York game last Monday. I was supposed to do a podcast Thursday, but I didn't because I left it all for today. And I was gonna record yesterday, today being Monday, yesterday being Sunday, if you know how the week works. Uh, oh, my phone. Ooh, Vadim Shipashov. Yeah. I'll talk about that later. My hockey pool is going nice right now. So, I'm good. I might change up my schedule. I just want to make this quick. I might change up what days I do it. I for sure, Monday. Monday is the longest into the week. You'll go without a podcast from me. But if I can record Sunday, I will record Sunday. But if I can't record Sunday, I'll record Monday and post on Monday. It's currently 7:37 and it is the 16th of I almost said November. It's not November yet. It's almost Christmas though. It's October and spooky. It's almost spooky Halloween. And do you know what else is spooky? Montreal Canadiens records. We are 1-4-1. Win against Buffalo, loss against Washington, loss against Chicago, loss against New York, an OT loss against um, against Toronto, right? No, we're not 1-4-1. Sorry, we're 1-3-1, right? Let me check this out. I gotta make sure. We're 1-3-1. I don't know where the fourth loss came from, but it possibly might come soon. So, as everybody does already knows, well, I'll talk about the Chicago game first. Montreal played Chicago, and we lost. We straight up lost. This reminded me of the New York game, the game before. It was on the Sunday, and this game was on the Tuesday? I think this was on the Tuesday. Montreal playing their home opener against the mega Chicago Blackhawks, the team that got the band back together. They have Brandon Saad, they have Patrick Sharp, they have Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews. There's a lot of Patricks on that team. And most of the roster I've never heard of before. Like, I know who Alex DeBrincat is, but other players, there was a guy playing second line center for them, something Kiro, and it sounds like a name in NHL 18 a few years down the line into franchise mode who was randomly drafted. So I don't know where Chicago keeps getting these players, but they won. They straight up won. There wasn't a whole bunch of controversy in it like the New York game. Refs, blind, deaf. I want to be a ref. So, Montreal gets out to the early lead. Plekanec get the goal. Plekanec, that wasn't English. That didn't sound nice. Plekanec got the goal. 1-0 lead. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I've said some very harsh things about Plekanec in the past. I have. I know I have. And I'm going to straight up apologize. Right now, I said before the season opener against Buffalo that, well, that he didn't play he wasn't. What did I say? I said I would trade him for a bag of pucks. Oh, okay, so what am I going to say about this? How am I gonna cheer Plekanec up? Thomas Plekanec. So, Thomas Plekanec, you have been playing so much better than you did last year, and I'm very happy you have been. He had the flu or something. Two players were sick, the other one being somebody that I'm also going to mention during this podcast a few times. He came into the game and he got a goal, and he's been playing much better as a two-way forward and as a playmaker. He's been getting pucks on net, but he doesn't have a lot of points. He has 2 goals so far, or 1 goal. Montreal's offense, well, after the Chicago game, Twitter was set aflames. The hockey world was set aflames. Montreal is fallen for Dahlin, the number one overall player in this next draft. So, do I address this now or after Montreal? No, Montreal didn't play a bad game against Toronto. I'm going to talk about our offense. So, what the hell's going on, Montreal? You know what? I already knew this was going to happen from this off season. We're going to sign Hemsky and Streit instead of Radulov and Markov because our defensive core is so much better than it was last year, Bergevin. You idiot, you Sorry, I'm going to be more positive. It's hard to be positive with a team like this. We are currently the laughingstock of the league. We have the worst offensive output in the league by far. It's the worst. It's horrendous. We have 8 goals in 5 games. 8 goals? I'm pretty sure 8 goals. 2 against Buffalo, 1 against Washington, none against New York, 1 against Chicago, and 3 against Toronto. So, Montreal. Personally, I am not surprised by the scoring, and you better thank your lucky stars, Toronto, Chicago, Pittsburgh, all those teams with players that can score goals on a snap of a wrist, a finger, and a stick. Did I say a stick? I don't know, a wrist? The clutch. Tim and Sid had addressed this earlier today. Are there such things as clutch players in hockey? Or in sports? Yes. The answer is yes. They have this switch that they can turn it on. Players like Crosby, Matthews, who is the Boogeyman. He's scary. I'm scared of him. I don't want... Montreal was 1 lottery ball away from getting him. Does anybody else know that? Don't you feel sad? That's what I thought. So, Bergevin probably would have traded him for some washed up scrub. Character players, no, character player. No, now he's Russian. I can't do the French accent. No, now he's just a part of the mafia. Where was I? I'm just flustered all over the place. Chicago. So, Montreal's offense. Is it too early to worry? Wow, that kind of sounded nice. That came off the tongue really well. Is it too early to worry for Montreal? Yes. I think it is. Talk to me 20 games down the road. Okay? If we are like the Colorado Avalanche of last year, then there's an absolute problem. Wow. Montreal. We have been horrendous with scoring for as long as I've been a fan. There has not been that player to just go out there and get 80 points a season. Seems like every other team has that. All the other friggin' original 6 teams and all the big teams in the NHL. Chicago usually has an 80-point player. Patrick Kane, 3-time 30-goal scorer Patrick Kane. Pittsburgh, don't you shut up, Pittsburgh, about you being sad. Oh, we started the season, but shut up. You have Gensel, you have Malkin, you have Crosby, you have Phil the Thrill. Shut up. Shh. Shh. Even though my pool's going quite great with Pittsburgh, thank you for scoring a few goals. I won't cheer against them, but I won't cheer for them. I'll cheer for the players, but I won't cheer for Pittsburgh because I don't want them to. It's confusing. There's a lot of things I need to address. This is a Montreal Canadiens related podcast, and I'm going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens because I feel like talking about the Montreal Canadiens. You leave me alone. I haven't had the podcast in a week. You leave me alone. I'm doing my podcast. Let me enjoy myself. Let me enjoy my team that sucks. Is it too early to worry for Montreal? Yes, it is. And there's a lot of other teams out in the league that don't need to worry just yet. Wait 20 games into the season and then push the panic button. I know I'm on Twitter all the time crying, writing sad hockey haikus. No, haikus. Haikus. So, jeez. Montreal. Oh my god. Chicago game, sad. Okay, so we started off the first period great. And then in seconds, we lost the lead. And then early into this second period, we went down 3-1, and I'm like, Montreal never comes back. We don't have the offensive output to come back from a 2-goal deficit. And I know we did that a few times last season, but last season was last season, and this season is this season with new problems, new faces, and the same general manager, Marc Bergevin. Bergevin. One of his stupid signings. Do we talk about that first before the Toronto Maple Leafs game? Because I have a lot. So, Mark Streit, the other day. Mark Streit signed on a one-year contract. He was waived into the AHL, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to show up to any of this. So both parties, Streit and Montreal management, had a mutual understanding and terminated the contract. And yeah, I mean, they put his name out there on the trading block, and who wants a Mark Streit? He played on. Did he play in this playoffs last year for Pittsburgh? I mean, he might have. They had a very injured defensive core. He might have, but it's Mark Streit. Mark Streit, even though people have been saying to me, "Oh, he's as good as Markov." I don't know. Give me some facts behind your accusation, right? I don't see any proof. There's no proof in the pudding. There isn't even pudding. Markov is so good, and he's having a great year in the KHL, and I'm proud of him because he's one of my favorite Montreal Canadiens. He's still a Montreal Canadian in my heart. You know who else is a Montreal Canadian in my heart? PK Subban. He has 7 points this season. He has, before last game in Toronto, PK Subban had more points than all the goals scored by Montreal. One player by the name of P.K. Subban, Panel Carl Subban, had more points than the entire 20-man roster of the Montreal Canadiens. I'm glad. Go PK. I'm never going to cheer. Why do you think I cheered for Nashville last year? I wanted them to win the cup, but I'm like, Pittsburgh. I couldn't cheer for Ottawa last year because I just can't cheer for Ottawa. Hockey is supposed to be my getaway. Hockey is supposed to be the place I go to feel happy. And my team is the Montreal Canadiens. Why did I have to be a fan of them? It's not like I can cheer for another team now. I can't go and be a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I can't go and be an Edmonton Oilers fan. Even though I have a Connor McDavid jersey. I'm okay. I have it in my basement, and I'm allowed to have it because I'm not a grown. I almost said I'm a grown man, but I'm not. I'm a tiny little child compared to everybody else. It's a hate-hate relationship between me and Montreal. I want them to succeed, and I don't want anybody else to succeed except them. Do you know who's succeeding? The Toronto Maple Leafs. It was all about streaks coming into this game. Montreal, 14 in a row against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What? Let me check the date. Do you want me to check the date of when Montreal had last been defeated by the Toronto Maple Leafs? Come on, Twitter. Come on, Twitter. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now, Twitter. Don't fail me now. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. Ooh, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. It's all the way past my hockey haikus, and you can go check those out because they're really sad and really depressing and really, really sad. Are you gonna are you gonna are we gonna are you gonna are we not gonna are we not gonna find or what? Ah, I found it. That date would be January 18th, the 18th of January 2014. That would oh my god. Podcast messed up a bit there. Okay. January 18th, 2014, 3 years ago, Montreal lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs. 3 years and 15. I can't count. 3 years and 14. I can't speak. What is wrong with me? We're starting this already, Owen? Are we really doing this right now, Owen? I'm in the heat of the moment. No more depressing haikus, Owen. No more depressing one. 3 years and 15 games. The 15th game being Toronto's turning of the tide. And part of me believes that, at how the tides are turning for the Toronto Maple Leafs, how they aren't the laughingstock of the league anymore. Everybody is scared of them. And now Montreal is turning into that laughingstock. We truly are. Look at our defensive core, even though Victor Mété is everything. My God. We are the laughingstock. Coming into this game, Toronto, how many goals did they score? A lot. The 7-2 against Winnipeg. Next game, didn't they? I don't know. Oh my God, they score so many goals. 8-5 against New York. 4-3 in overtime against Chicago. Loss against New Jersey. Win against Montreal. So, what do I want to say? How Toronto is turning into Canada's team again. Right? Because who are you going to root for the past 5 years? Edmonton? They haven't been here for a decade. Vancouver? I mean, you could have cheered for them. And then they had the 2 President's trophies in a row. They lost in the first round once against LA, and they lost in the 7th game of the Stanley Cup final against Tim Thomas's Boston Bruins. What, you're going to cheer for the Calgary Flames? Don't they wish they had Mikko Kiprasov? Oh, no, they don't have him anymore. What, you're going to cheer for them for the past 5 years? They were out of relevance for a long time. What other teams do it? Ottawa? Are they even Canadian? Oh, the Ottawa Senators. That could have been us last year in the playoffs if we just had to beat New York. What other Canadian teams are there? I think I got them all. Yeah. Oh, Winnipeg. Who is Winnipeg? You mean the Atlanta Thrashers? They've only been around for a couple years. You're gonna cheer for Winnipeg? I would cheer for Winnipeg too, but they never make the playoffs. Montreal was Canada's team. Who are you gonna cheer for? The Toronto Blue Jays? No, that's the MLB, stupid. Hockey is Canada's game, and who owned the Canadian hockey world for the past, what, decade? Montreal. They had some rough patches in there, but they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals twice in that span, and they missed the playoffs, what, 2 times in that span? Even though they had the first round appearances and lost. New York! And they beat Washington, the President's Trophy winners won. Did they win the President's? Something. Montreal being like the 8th spot in the East beat out Washington. So they must have been. Yeah. Wow. My eyes hurt. Oh my god, just looking at Montreal's filth. Oh my god. Filth in a bad way. So the tides are turning. They are turning. And it makes me mad because I get very mad over hockey. Hockey makes me madder than anything else. Did I use that right? Is matter even a word? Matter. Did matter? What's the matter? Not only matter. What's the matter? Where was I? I'm getting really sad. Um, I think I've spent enough time on telling everybody how Toronto is becoming the mega power for Canada, because they are. I'm one of the smart Montreal Canadiens fans that isn't like Montreal's totally better with Alexei Alexemsky, and Alexei Emlin. No longer. We have Jeff Petrie and straight. Get your Montreal, you need to get your stuff straight. Montreal. Oh my god. Oh. Oh god. Okay. So Montreal Canadiens versus the Toronto. It's 23 minutes in, and I'm just getting to this because I've been complaining. You can skip it. You can skip this podcast. I'm just crying inside because I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan, and you're probably Pittsburgh Penguins fan because you're smart and you're smart. I'll get to every other team, especially Vegas. So, Montreal Canadiens. Jeff Petrie scores early into the first period, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Wow, Jonathan Drouin gets his second assist, and Lehkonen gets his first assist. And then James Van Riemsdyk ties it up, his fourth of the season, 7 minutes and 32 seconds into the first period. And then 48 seconds later, Auston Matthews, the Boogeyman, scores a pretty alright goal. So, and then Alex, oh, Do you want to know what happiness feels like? Do you want me to tell you how good Auston Matthews is yet, or am I going to tell you how good and how deserving Alex Galchenyuk is? Put him on the fourth line because I'm a super smarty. I'm so smart. Let me just put our best prospect. I can't call him a prospect. Let's put our best potential guy on the fourth line with Hupsky and Shaw. Hupsky is Torrey Mitchell, and oh my God. Let's put him on the fourth line, he said. It'd be fine, they said. He goes out, gets onto the power play, and he puts one home. An absolute rocket of a wrist shot. He fires that one home, and he gets the gorilla off his back. Not a monkey, a full-blown gorilla. Like a gorilla. Like a huge one. Like Harambe on his back, gripping his neck, strangling his career by the throat, and he puts one home. And then the camera pans up to Mark Bergevin, and you know what he is? He's just like looking all disappointed because he's an awful human being. I was losing it. I was losing it. I'm like, oh my God, is it Bergevin? Oh my God, Bergevin, oh my Bergevin. He fired one home, and then it was tied, and that was the end of the second. And wow, and then into the second period, 11:33. 11:33 into the second period, Jonathan Drouin tips a rocket home from Karl Alzner getting his second assist and Jonathan Drouin getting his first, of with many more to come as a Montreal Canadien. He's had more hype come on him than both Star Wars trailers combined. Right? He's had that much hype coming to Montreal, and you know what? Deservedly. Montreal hasn't had a guy like that in a long time. So Jonathan Drouin gets his first. And then, did this happen before or after? Matthews gets one called back for high sticking. And yeah, I don't know how you're gonna say that was a goal. Like, you can't. It just wasn't a goal. Right? It just wasn't. And then Patrick Marleau puts the veteran. When he started playing in the NHL, William Nylander was only 2 weeks old. Think about that. Patrick Marleau. Why wouldn't you love Patrick Marleau? As a Montreal Canadiens fan, I can respect him. I can't respect that contract, but I respect him, and I'm sure he loves that contract. And he went out there and he scored a goal. And then the ref raved it off, and I'm like, yeah, go ref. Of course. And then I see the replay. He was waving his arms, diving over the net like, no goal. Like he did a Superman dive over the net, and he's like, no goal, there's no goal, no goal. And then they go up top for the review, and you see on the net cam view that the puck had squeaked in. Price fell off balance, and that's the way the world works. I couldn't deny that it was a goal. I was yelling goaltender interference, even though I was sad inside because I knew that was it. All the momentum left Montreal's body, even though we had a pretty good third period. We outshot them, and Montreal had a total of 22 block shots, and Toronto had a total of 27. The other way around. So Toronto would have outshot Montreal 49-48. So Montreal played a... Does that make it worse how we should have won that game? It does make it worse. And then, you want to talk about overtime? Toronto, you spoiled rotten brats. When was the last time Montreal drafted that good? When was the last time Montreal had a super Swede? Montreal has not had a Auston Matthews in a long time. Montreal has not had a William Nylander in a long time. Montreal has not had an Mitch Marner, who hockey Twitter blowing up is set aflames. Mitch Marner's on the fourth line, everybody. Isn't that fun? Woo! Toronto, the carnival has begun. Just Connor Brown and him switch spots. I wouldn't read too much into it, as every Toronto Maple Leaf fan with reading glasses on, like, so Mitch Marner on the fourth line? What? Even though he's at a slow start. And do you know who scored the OT goal? Do you know who passed? Do you know how much talent is in this guy's pinky finger? Do you know how much more talent he has than 90% of the Montreal Canadiens roster? In just his wrists. His name is Auston Matthews, the Boogeyman. People are trying to give him the nickname Poppy. No, that doesn't work. Poppy. Poppy? Poppy. Hi, I'm Poppy. No, I just don't think that... Why am I talking about nicknames? Auston friggin' Matthews. I can respect it. And I'm not lying about this. Before... 3 hours before the Montreal Canadiens game, I said to my dad, I just want some offense. I would be okay if Montreal lost 4-3 in overtime or the shootout. And when it got to the overtime, I'm like, did I jinx the hell out of my team? I didn't actually want to lose. And then Auston Matthews, 48 seconds into overtime. Scores with a beautiful feed from William Nylander, the two young guns, Auston Matthews, the Boogeyman. I don't know. Like, as a Montreal Canadiens fan, I've said that a lot this game. He made Carey Price look human. Like mortal. Is Auston Matthews out of this world? Carey Price, we all know he's a fantastic goaltender. But Carey Price has been looking human the past few games. He looked great in Buffalo, so on and so forth. But he hasn't been making those saves. And do you know my thoughts on that? He doesn't have a team around him. In his Vezina year, in his Hart year, in his William M. Jennings year, he had a team around him, at least a better team than he has this year. A way better team than he has this year. They could at least get those goals and edge out a 2-1 victory. The defense, yeah, they let on a lot of shots, but they could at least do their job. I don't know what it is this year. I do know what it is this year. I'm not going to lie. Bergevin's an idiot. He's just dumb. This past offseason, he made his case for worst GM in the league. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to hide behind a plant because I'm such a funny guy. But you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to trade our best defensive prospect, Mikhail Sergachev. I didn't hate the trade, to be honest. And you know what? I'm not going to sign longtime veteran Markov and Radulov. Ah. Ah. Oh my god. We got a point out of the game. I know I acted really sad on Twitter, and that's what I do. It's in the heat of the moment, but I'm not too worried yet. I wouldn't be too worried just yet. But there's a lot of teams in the league that are acting worried. Right? I'll leave that for the end of the show, because there's a lot of teams that are worried right now. What am I talking about next? So apparently, the coach of the Ottawa Senators, the Frenchman Boucher, thinks Erik Karlsson is the best player in the world. Karlsson is supposed to make his season debut for the Senators against the Canucks after missing 5 games while recovering from getting his ankle ripped out of his foot, because he's a Terminator. That's what he is. He's a Terminator, right? Well, I don't know. So, Boucher thinks Erik Karlsson is the best player in the league. He didn't say league, he said best player in the world, like the entire universe. Humongous big universe. And what do I think of that? Oh, you're funny. French people are so funny. Pretty sure he's French. Sounds like a French name. He's French. Oh my god. Okay, Boucher. So, what's your why do you think Erik Karlsson is the best player in the world? Well, he carried us in the playoffs. Mad faith. He's a Terminator. He's the best. He scores goals, but he doesn't really play defense. He's more of an offensive forward than he is a defensive forward. Defensive forward. He doesn't play forward, but he basically does play forward. He is a defenseman. Does he know what defense is? We'll never know. I mean, everybody's saying last year he should have won the James Norris Trophy. But playoffs don't count to voting, you idiots. Burns totally deserved it. That's all I'm saying. Meh, meh. Oh. So you're saying you would take Erik Karlsson over Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid first overall in the draft? And you know what? As his coach, I wouldn't blame him. Like, you have a lot of respect for the guy, and you've seen what he can do on the ice. But who else does Ottawa have that can produce that kind of all-star, charismatic energy on the ice and in the locker room? There aren't a lot of guys that can bring that switch, that internal switch. So that's his opinion, and I can't say anything to that. But you as the viewer, you as the listener, because you're not really viewing anything, would you take Erik Karlsson first overall in a draft? Especially after his ankle surgery, because we don't know how he's going to fare out there. But you know what? He's probably going to do great. Personally, I think they should have let him rested longer. He's had injuries in the past. he's had a few injuries in the past, and they brought him on too quick, and that's opened up injuries. As the Ottawa Senators, would you rather have an Erik Karlsson that's healthy 60 games of the season at full Erik Karlsson ability instead of an Erik Karlsson that plays 70, 75 games, or 77 in this case, that is medium healthy, doesn't know how he's going to fare? Because Ottawa can do it without him for a few games. Look at them going into Alberta. First time in their franchise's history, they went into Alberta and they swept. They didn't sweep. They hit the broom on the floor. They lit the broom on fire, and they lit the living room on fire. That is Alberta. They didn't just sweep them. They destroyed them. 11 goals in 2 games with 1 goals against. 1 goals? 1 goal. 1. Not in both games. 1. 1 against Edmonton. I forget who scored that goal. Thinking. I can't remember because Ottawa played a fantastic game there. I don't know what it was. I think Alberta's just having a rough go. Right? Rough go, Edmonton. Ooh, what's going on, Edmonton? Connor McDavid, what's going on, bud? But as an NHL fan, as a hockey fan, are you scared? Who are you more scared of going to a 7-game series against? The Ottawa Senators or the Edmonton Oilers? The Ottawa Senators or the Toronto Maple Leafs? The Ottawa Senators or the Pittsburgh Penguins? I don't think you're scared of Ottawa, even though they made it in the playoffs, and they didn't just make it into the playoffs, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which should have been Montreal! Should have been, could have been, didn't. It's the way the world works. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Where am I? Who are you? Who am I talking to? I don't like this. Ottawa Senators are one of those teams that are good. They're good enough to make it to the playoffs, but once they're there, they're just what? They can make it in the second round. They can even make it in the third round, but you're not scared of them. The only person I'm scared of on Ottawa is Gabriel Pageau because he has this factor against the Montreal Canadiens, which he always seems to score. I'm scared of Erik Karlsson. Not scared of Mark Stone because we all know how easily breakable his wrist is. Get it? Shots. If you don't get the reference, playoff series a couple years ago, Andrew Hammond, remember that guy. First game, PK Subban. Quotation mark. So, Ottawa, you're getting a fresh Karlsson. Is it too early to get him back? I mean, only time will tell. I mean, I don't want Ottawa to do good. I don't cheer for Ottawa. I couldn't cheer for Ottawa even though all the stories going for them in the playoffs. Craig Anderson, Clark MacArthur, oh my god. Erik Karlsson, oh my god. I just couldn't cheer for them. I couldn't cheer for the stories. I just couldn't. And you know what people haven't been cheering for? The Pens to the White House. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer for myself to talk about this. I might use 5 minutes. I might not use 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the clock. Go. So, as everybody should know, this is kind of old news, but I just want to bring it up. I almost said the Ottawa Senators, but why would they go to the White House? Shouldn't they go to Parliament? Whatever. The Pittsburgh Penguins decided to go to the White House. I said I wasn't going to get political, but too bad. I just want to bring it up. This is 5 minutes. I'm just I'm just going at it. I'm wasting time because I was political. So they they opened the letter and they said, you know what, let's go. So the Pittsburgh Penguins went. Donald drunk. Yes, he is a drunk. He's a mad drunk with tiny baby hands and a whole lot of power. Fighting other tiny babies with a whole lot of power. He gave a speech, and I was watching at the gym on the TV, hoping that he would say a player's name wrong. Right? Well, I wasn't just the only one. I wasn't the only one that wanted Reeves to come up to him and just like clock him a few times because he'd get suspended forever and get arrested probably. But that would make the whole first round draft pick a whole lot better. Pittsburgh would be heroes. And for everybody saying Sidney Crosby is a bad captain for going to the White House, you are wrong. See, when I listened to Ron McLean, what he had to say on the Steve Dangle podcast about this whole kneeling thing and the whole protest, silent protest, he said there isn't a right side or a wrong side because you cannot just diminish the rights of another person for your own because it's a silent protest. They're not doing anything wrong. Sidney Crosby is not bad for taking one side over another, and he is a hockey guy. He wasn't going to say no because it's a privilege to go to the White House, not to meet Donald Trump, to go to the White House. He's been there twice before, and he'll do it again. Sidney Crosby, he's a captain. He goes there, puts aside all the politicalness, even though Pittsburgh will be used as what word am I trying to use? As leverage for Donald Trump in this time. How they helped him and how they're doing the right thing that coming to the White House. Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins are not bad people for going to the White House. They just aren't. I mean, PR and how for Pittsburgh, bad idea to go out right after how the NFL thing, the NBA was happening. Awful timing. Very bad timing. I'm sure somebody got the whip. But Sidney Crosby is not an awful human being for deciding to accept the invitation to go to the White House, not to meet Donald Trump, to go to the White House. It's a privilege. All the captains before him did it. He doesn't want to break that. He's a strict hockey guy. He's a bland guy. He's not an exciting guy. He's Sidney Crosby. He's an exciting guy on the ice, but he's Sidney Crosby. He's straight. He's boots on the ground. Skates on the ice. That's what he does. He isn't political, and just because he went to the White House doesn't mean it's political. Right? Does that make any sense? If that doesn't make sense, leave your answers, leave your comments in the section below. I'm not done yet. I am not done yet. Not by a long shot. There's a few things to talk about. And that's all I want to say about the White House, and if I'm sure there's going to be plenty more in the sports industry coming soon. I can almost guarantee that. See? Perfect timing. It's not like I was looking at the clock at all. So, welcome back, Eddie Olczyk. Welcome back, Eddie Olczyk. Returning to broadcast for the Blackhawks on Wednesday. That would be the day after Tuesday. he is going to work games during treatment for colon cancer. So he will be a part of the NBCSN broadcast when Chicago plays the Blues at Scott's Trade Center on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Olczyk stated August 8th, 2017, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. He is 6 weeks into 24-week chemotherapy regime. 3 treatments in, 9 to go, he told USA Today on Monday. We are a quarter of the way into the race, and we are grinding it out. Good for him. Like, do you know? So, Brian Boyle, who was diagnosed with cancer, bone marrow cancer, before the season had started. It's your whole life. Hockey, if you're a hockey person, either Brian Boyle or Eddie Olczyk, hockey is your entire life. It's your life's work. It's your passion. It's your love. For both of those guys, hockey was probably their first love. No offense to their wives, but hockey was probably their first loves. And it must take a toll out of them, not just the treatments and the cancer and the whole, what if I won't be okay? And I'm scared for my family sort of thing. And they're both tough buggers, right? They are. They both stated they want to be back in as soon as possible. No hockey person wants to be out in action. Right? And I'm proud of him. Good for him. Even though I don't like him in the NHL games, it gets quite boring, but it's impressive to see him back out up into the stands or back down by the benches, commentating, giving his thoughts on the game of the NHL. Good for him. Now, on to some more, well, that was positive, but on to some more positive things. The NHL 3 stars of the week this past week. So, the 3 stars. Your third star, Nicholas Backstrom from the Washington Capitals. Oh, he had 7 points. He had a lot of points. He had a few points. Yeah. 9 points in 4 games with the Capitals. He had a lot of points. I can't really read. So. And then your second star, the Boogeyman, Auston Matthews. Recorded 4 goals and 8 points. Yikes. And your first star, Swede. No, he's not Swede. Is he Swede? Is he Finn? Nikolai Ehlers. I'm pretty sure he's a Swede. Nikolai Ehlers, your first star of the week. Ehlers led the NHL with 5 goals and 7 points, including a pair of winners. Good for him. Winnipeg's on a hot streak. Good for Winnipeg. Oh my god. Good for Winnipeg. Oh my god. And there goes my computer again. Sorry about that. If I don't really want to edit all of this out because it's like 8:30. So, wow. So I almost said 3 young guys, but Nicholas Backstrom isn't that old. He's 28, 27, 28, something like that. Something like that. Blah, 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 blah. So, let's go to the NHL standings so far. The Eastern Conference, the Metropolitan? What's the Metropolitan ice cream right about now, but I can't eat chocolate because I'm doing this 1 year thing, so I'll just have to eat the strawberry and vanilla. Poor me, am I right? So, leading the Metropolitan Division, New Jersey, 4-1. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Columbus with 8 points. They're tied for first. Pittsburgh with 7. Washington with 7. Philadelphia with 6. New York with 5. Carolina with 3. New Jersey? No, they can't be at the top and the bottom. New York with 2. New Jersey, out of all the teams that aren't touted to be very good in the top 5, top 6, top 8, whatever, I think New Jersey has the most potential to do the most damage this year in the NHL. They remind me of the Toronto Maple Leafs last year, that everybody was like, oh, they need to do better than they did last year, but nobody's expecting them to make the playoffs. They had a total redo this offseason. They got the first overall pick, and that was Nico Hischier. They signed NCAA prospect and Holby Baker Trophy winner Will Butcher. They traded for Marcus Johansson from the Washington Capitals. They kept Adam Henrique. They have Jesper Bratt, who is playing incredible for them. And Corey Schneider, he's just really good at hockey. Enough said. Atlantic Division, I hate saying this. The Toronto Maple Leafs are tied for first with the Tampa Bay Lightning with 8 points. Oh my god. The Detroit Red Wings have 8 points. No, my god, it's a 3-way tie in the Atlantic. Oh my god. Never mind Detroit. Go Detroit. Detroit for the cup. Start the streak again. 25 or whatever years. Oh, no, I can't read. It just keeps changing. 4-way tie for first in the Atlantic with 8 points. Ottawa, Detroit, Tampa, and Toronto. Ottawa, surprisingly, the only team in the NHL, I'm pretty sure, without one regulation loss. They have 2 overtime losses, and I'm pretty sure both of them came by way of the shootout. So, are they both Detroit? Whatever. 3 wins, 0 losses, and 2 OT/shootout losses. Florida, 2-2, 4 points. Boston, 2-3, 4 points. Montreal, 1-3-1, 1-4-1. Buffalo with 3 points. And the Western Conference, Chicago. Chicago currently has 9 points in 6 games. Colorado. You know how I said New Jersey has the most potential to do the most damage this year in the top 5 that shouldn't be there? Colorado. I think they're the team that's going to plummet. The team that is currently being led by Fail for Nail Yakupov, the beast, the player I'm surprised that hasn't signed in the KHL before this season. Nail Yakupov is just leading the Colorado Avalanche, and you know what I have to say to that? Good for him. It's nice to see a player that is touted to be a bust actually do something with their career. He was a questionable signing for Colorado, but it's turning up this year. They have 3 wins in a row, and one of their losses coming by New Jersey, the other loss coming by no idea. First, they have 3 wins in a row. That didn't happen all last season. They didn't have 3 consecutive wins in a row. Right? Right. It's a two-way tie for second in the Western Central Division. St. Louis also has 8 points, 4 wins and 2 losses. Good for them. Winnipeg has 6 points. Go Winnipeg! They have few wins in a row, 2 wins in a row, I believe. Something like that. They're doing pretty good. Nashville has 5 points. BK Subban has 7. Minnesota has 4, and Dallas has 4. They are not doing very good. Their differential for goal total is -2. So, ugh. And the Los Angeles Kings, who have been, I don't know, am I the only one that thinks this? They've been quite quiet in that Pacific Division, leading the Pacific Division. Is that just me? I just think that. It's weird. I don't know. And the Vegas Gold, did I say how many points Los Angeles had? They have 9. Wow! I totally didn't know this. They also do not have any regulation losses. They are 4-0-1, tied with Chicago with the most points in the NHL. Western Conference, who nobody thinks was going to do well this year. Vegas has 8 points. So, Vegas. You know what Vegas did? They called up the boy, the KHL legend, Vadim Ship-Ashov. The ship has set sail. Yes. And then Alex Tuck, because 2 players were injured. Injured? They're not Thomas the Tank Engine. Jonathan Marchessault and Marc-Andre Fleury had injuries, so they decided to call up Maxime Legacy, Vadim Shipashov, Alex Tuck. Surprised they haven't called up Shea Theodore yet. I mean, they have a lot of defensemen. Vegas. So, Marc-Andre Fleury had an injury, and people were saying, how did he get that concussion? It looked like just a bounce. He's had a long career, and he's had his head rattled a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if his head was like eggshells. You hit it once. If you get hit with a kneecap, with or without a helmet, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna rock you upside the head. He's just supposed to be out for a week, so we really don't know yet. And Malcolm Subban, a person people sweep under the rug. Nobody really remembers him. He's one of the Subban brothers, along with Jordan and Pernell Carl. Nobody really remembers him, and it's sad. He doesn't even have a proper helmet, a proper bucket with the Vegas Golden Knights logo on it. It's just plain white. He played a fantastic game yesterday for them, beating his team that drafted him, the Boston Bruins, who dropped him on waivers. So that's some poetic justice, I would say. Good for him. Good for him. I really like it. It's really nice to see him get the win there. His first career NHL win. And then Calgary also has 8 points. Before I go to Calgary, Vadim Shipashov, the ship has set sail. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Sorry, I just have this weird thing with him. I think he's my favorite. My favorite Vegas player at the moment. Who, forget about James the Real Deal Neal. Neal before him. Nah, the ship. Shippy. Ship-Ashov. He's the best. And I need him to do good for my pool, because another player that I have in my pool that just started, that I also drafted and is playing for Calgary, I almost said Jerome McGinley. He's probably going to get a call for Canada for this tournament going on, so I wouldn't worry about Jerome. He'll probably play for the Olympics too, if he doesn't sign anywhere. I wish he would sign in Calgary, whatever. It's sad. Jaromir Jagr started, and he didn't have points in his first 2 games, but he did have a point against the LA Kings? That doesn't sound right. But he did have an assist. Goal scored by Johnny Gaudreau, and I saw a tweet on Twitter. Where else would I see a tweet, Owen? So, do you know how in Florida it was Jonathan Huberdeau, center Barkov, and right winger, I keep saying Jerome again, like they both start with J. Jaromir Jagr. I saw a tweet saying the Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, and Jaromir Jagr is the Walmart version of the Florida line. I was losing it. This is the most hilarious thing I've seen in a long time. Florida pans are just Florida pans. I've never seen a Florida pan. If you have any Florida pans, send them to me. I wonder if they cook differently. Florida fans are very salty that they don't have Jaromir Jagr anymore. They're just not a good team. I don't care what you say. They're not a good team. I will fight you on that. But we don't believe in statistics. Well, I'm gonna use statistics against you. You let go of Jochen and Jagr, but you got dead enough. And then Anaheim has 5 points, with 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 OT loss. Vancouver has 3 points. Brock Besser, you know that guy. Edmonton has 2 points. Red alert, red alert. Red alert, red alert, red alert. Panic button. Beep, 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 beep. San Jose, 1 win, 3 losses, 0 OT losses, 2 points. Beep, 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 beep. Panic button. And Arizona, 1 point. I was hoping they would do better this year. They really need to get out of the bottom. So, I'm going to talk about panicking and how it's too early. For all the teams, the top 10, I'm going to read out the top 10. Oh, my phone. I'm sorry, phone. Phone. I'm sorry. It's just Twitter, with my tweeter twatters, whatever. So, Los Angeles is first. Detroit, Vegas, Tampa, Columbus, Toronto, New Jersey, Chicago, Los Angeles. Plenty of those teams aren't going to be there. Let me read you the bottom. The bottom few. Up from Arizona. 30th, Arizona with 1 point. New York with 2 points. San Jose with 2 points. Edmonton with 2 points. Buffalo with 3 points. Montreal with 3 points. Vancouver with 3 points. Carolina with 3 points. So, which teams here make sense that they aren't doing very good? Vancouver, yeah, makes sense. They should be rebuilding, but they're one of those teams the fans are probably like, if we are contending for a wild card, we'll be okay, but if we finish 30th and we get Rasmus Stalin, we'll be okay with it. Arizona, it'd be good for them to finally get out of the basement and compete for a wild card, but what, are they going to get another top prospect in the draft? Probably. New York, that's a team that I don't see that should worry. Even though I hate the Rangers, wow, they have a few losses. Oh, wow. Wait. Yeah, they have a few losses. 5 losses. They have the most regulation losses in the bottom 10. I really hope they stay at the bottom of the league because I don't like New York. I hate New York. I hate New York more than Toronto and Boston. Wow, did you just learn that from me? I hate New York so much. San Jose, they've gotten off to a rough start. Brett Burns only has a point. What are you gonna do? Norris Trophy. I knew it. The beard is weighing him down. You gotta shave your beard. Marleau. We need we need Marleau back. It's early. That's another team. They've only played 4 games. They're one of those teams that can start off really slow. So, for all these teams, you got to wait 20 games in. Edmonton, that's another team. Got to wait till 20 games in to see what the hell's going on. My God. Of course, they're going to change around lines, and Leon Draisaitl was hurt. He has a concussion, I believe. Upper body injury, quote, quote. So it's probably a concussion. I don't know if they 100% specifically said it was a concussion. I'm not going to read it up right now. Buffalo, 3 points. That's a team that desperately needs to get out of the stranglehold. That's a franchise that has a gorilla, a friggin' buffalo on their back. I mean, Buffalo really doesn't have opposables. Whatever. Buffalo, 3 points in 6 games. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? Buffalo, they have a lot. They have a lot they need to change. I mean, Robin Leonard's just not playing good. Chad Johnson, I mean the backup, they're just not playing. My pool is being hurt dramatically because Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel needs to lead this team. So, and then Montreal, you know my thoughts on them, 3 points. Vancouver already said, and Carolina, 3 points. So, I'm going to leave it off on this. Carolina. Everybody says how they have one of the most impressive cores, one of the most impressive cores in the league. Defensive cores, by the way. That's what I meant. They're 1-1-1 with 3 points. Everybody's saying how good they are and how scary they're going to be. You can fight me on this. You can even try to hit me with a pen. But you're just not right. They're not scary. I'm not scared of Carolina. Are you scared of Carolina? I'm more scared of New Jersey than I am of Carolina. I could be totally wrong about this. Whatever. I'll get over it. You'll get over it. We'll all get over it. Carolina does well. We'll get over it. Good for them. But you know what? Nobody shows up to the games anyway. Ah, ha, ha. Not like anybody will see them win anyways. So, that's all I'm going to talk about today. And if you're listening, I don't care if anybody's listening because I love listening to my voice. I hope you had a terrific day, and I hope you continue to have a terrific day because you deserve it. Now, if you have any questions, if you want to talk to me about stuff and things, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook. My Facebook is 3 Thumbs Up Podcast. That's my Facebook. My Twitter is @RealBeattyman. You can tweet me your sad things. Tweet me hockey haikus and how sad you are. I might read off some next game because I'm sad. Depends on what the Habs do. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 13 minutes. Have a great day. I will see you next Monday or this Thursday. Depends if anything happens. Okay? Bye.